Yo guys, it's Blaze Rich here. Today I'm going to do a little video on the Hookbill and basically my fights over the last week or so. We got some nice 1v1s, man. I'm surprised how well this Hookbill did. The buffer Hookbill, I usually ran the dual rep one or the armor one with the small ancillary and the TD. But this one was doing work, man. I don't know if it was just because the amount of DPS did. I wasn't expecting it to be this DPS heavy, but a lot of people underestimate its DPS, and usually that's how we win our fights. But I won't go too much over this bit, and we'll sort of explain it more in the fights to come. So yeah, let's get on to that. Okay, this is a great example of the Hookbill's overwhelming DPS. My plan is to orbit this dude close, because that's the only way we're going to mitigate some form of DPS. We probably wouldn't mitigate much, because the damn thing has really good tracking. No, I believe this one's running a whip. So I'm orbiting 500, and basically it's just apply all DPS. This dude is not ready for it, man. This dude only has a small ancillary, and you'll notice just how much DPS he's eating, and he was probably terrified. He was definitely not expecting this, and we orbit close, and he can't spill up, and it's a very quick GF. Alright, here's two examples of two blaster comets. Blaster comets are actually quite dicey. I always go in and hold invulnerability, and then check the guns. If it's rails, we're going to orbit close. If it's blasters, we're keeping at range. I keep at range 6.5k here, and in hindsight, I think this is what ended up losing us the fight. We slowly drift out of void range, that's fine. But then Olivia's very, very quick to switch to null, and then still applying a lot of DPS. Null reached out to 7.5k. So what I should have probably done is overheated this. Well, we are overheating the scram. Overheat the scram and keep at 8k to win this. I know, hindsight's 2020, man. I buggered this up. But it's still a super close fight, man. I always get really crazy fights off Olivia. Yeah, it's the blaster comet, if it's free hull rigs, it's just so much, man. 7.2k HP and a small anti. It's pretty rough, man. The only way we're going to win is if we mitigate a lot of damage. But yeah, at this point I try and line out. I call it too late, and yeah, we die, unfortunately. This next blaster comet, basically I feel the way to win against blaster comets depending on the pilot. If they switch to null quickly enough, we lose, I believe. And I keep my range up 5k in this fellow just to keep out void range, but I need to keep on remembering about null, and I don't understand, and I should really orbit at 8k. I feel of blasters. I'm just always worried that I end up losing the target, because you'll see at one point in the fight that Murray tries to escape, but then of course once I pull range in the comet, I always heat the scram instead of the AB, because we should be faster on meeting with unheated. So you notice he's starting to pull range. We have the scram heat, then I look to heat the AB just to keep up, just to make sure he doesn't escape. And yeah, this one was a bit better. I think it was just because it took too long for Murray to switch to null. I could be totally wrong. I believe this is what lost Murray the fight, unfortunately. But yeah, all the same, man. Good fights, man. Okay, this fight's pretty much against a mirror match. I always load Inferno when going for Hookbills now, because if they're dual rep or shield, I always feel Inferno's the best call, because most dudes probably run an EM rig, unlike myself, who I just run two shield extender rigs. And then, of course, the DPS rig. So I always just load Inferno, because I don't think many people would fit in thermal rig, and the thermal would probably do quite well to armor. You could make the argument for Scourge Rage as well, but I feel Inferno is probably the better call. I could be wrong. Feel free to tell me wrong. But I'm orbiting 3k with overheat AB just to try and get some damage. I'm waiting for my shield to drop enough, and then I'm going to offline my medium shield extender to reduce your sig further. And I believe these maybe mitigate enough DPS as to where we won this. I could be wrong. It's very hard to tell if they added to the fight. But yeah, this was a super close one. I was fights like that. So this next Hookbill is a dual rep one. So the medium ancillary shield booster and the small anti. And this is really close, man. I feel this Hookbill is pretty powerful. I don't have much success with it, but I feel in this matchup, it's probably the more superior one, especially if you're running drugs, right? There's not many drugs that you can add a shield buffer fit that'll improve it, if you get me. They do use a damage drug to improve your damage, but yeah. There's no I don't know, drug that can extend your shield range, shield HP and all that kind of thing, but if you using Exile or Blue Pill. But yeah, So, yeah, I end up losing this for Inferno. I go back and use Scourge Rage, and it's still the same. They're both very, very close fights. So I don't know. I feel like Inferno was the right call here. Scourge definitely didn't do it for us. But yeah, it's GA. Okay, this fight's against a Rail Comet. I go in, hold Invon, and just like quickly check guns. At this point, no, I'm already assuming alright Rails if he's out this far. So you're going to be sitting at 0 on the beacon if you're blasters, unless you're like maybe killing the rat in the plex or something. But yeah, ENS makes like quite a nice little play here and like overheats the webs and keeps us at range for a bit at the start. Which if they did this for a bit longer, I think they would have like potentially stood a lot more of a chance. But once we get our 2 webs on over orbit 500, that's pretty much us got the fight in the bag, I feel. Rails don't particularly have the greatest tracking once we're orbiting 500. It's going to be making a lot of damage. The drones will still be doing perfectly fine, but that isn't like a lot of DPS to worry about. So, yeah, I make a little mistake in not overheating the AV there, but yeah, this was like a really sick fight, man. I was like super impressed by the like overheat web strat at the start. I was sick. Alright, this is a weird fight, man. This slicer warps into me, and I'm expecting like if I get the scram webs on it, I've won. I'm expecting this to be like the regular MWD long point slicer, or maybe like an AB web one. If it beams AB web, I can get underneath its guns, I feel. So that's what I end up doing. Then I'm like, wait, what's happening? Okay, no, nothing. And then I've realized I'm like applying poorly, so I'm thinking that it's like, oh, is this like a really, really tanky plated slicer or something? But I didn't notice the speed that this was going at the end. I realized that's like 10 men, and I'm like, oh no! It's always so cool going up against like non-meta fits like this, because it always keeps you on your toes. Because this fight is ridiculously close. You've noticed I've offlined my medium shield extender, because once our shield's gone, it's like good to like offline that just to reduce your sig a bit. We still have like a huge sig because of the shield rigs and stuff, but it's definitely worth offline it just for that little advantage. I think that might have been the thing that maybe won us this, but this was like a super cool 1v1 against Jellius. Like it's always stuff like this that like it freaks me out, man. Not knowing what's like warping into you. But yeah, that's a very good one. So yeah, guys, that's the fights I have for you guys today. Like, I'm gonna stick to this bloody like video every Wednesday, man. I'm feeling to with Maryland, so I think that's what's gonna be next Wednesday. We can get like some super really good fights with that. So yeah, I hope that like maybe made you want to fly the Hookbill a bit. I hope it was entertaining and stuff. I tried to keep my speech and stuff a little bit slower. This one, because I noticed it's getting a lot of not necessarily complaints, but people were like a bit like you know, I was speaking a bit too sporadically and like no punctuation and all this thing. So yeah, but as always, like I'm super appreciative. Thank you guys for like sticking around, watching my videos, spend your time out of your day to watch me do things. But yeah, like enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I hope to catch you in the next one.